Hello everybody, so I'm Jimmy Fantastic and this is my Necromantic guide. So they've just been released here on Blood Bowl 2 and let's have a look. This is the landing page when you create a team and it says strength and weaknesses. Werewolves are excellent players. I couldn't agree more. One of the best players in the game. The most mobile of the undead teams? Well, yeah, that's pretty much unarguable. The werewolves are movement 8 and werewolves, I don't know how you're meant to pronounce it, but they're faster than ghouls, aren't they? And obviously Khemri are very immobile. Able to raise armies of zombies. Okay, it's a bit crazy, but yeah, okay, it's just the same as undead. Costly players, that is definite weakness. What is the best starting roster for a necromantic? Very debatable. Ghouls are choice targets for the opposition. This is also true, but that's true of undead, you've just got to kind of protect them a little bit. And expensive rerolls, yep, same as undead. They are similar to undead, so my take, I think these are pretty decent strengths and weaknesses. The weakness is that they're not so good as a starting team, but they do build very well. Like the Flesh Golem's 110k for essentially a Black Orc at rookie level. Once he gets a few skills, he becomes an amazing player and very much worth his TV. But it's just hard to cram everything in at the start. So yeah, this combination of costly players, but they do have cheap fodder. So it's not just costly positionals. They've got 4 players that are really expensive. So yeah, that's not a bad lineup. And then more about the strengths and weaknesses of Necro. Basically, you've got 3 formats of Blood Bowl. You've got tabletop tournaments with a set number of skills. They're not so good for that unless they can use a double. If you can get a double skill and you give a werewolf Mighty Blow, that's pretty good. And in a league situation, I think they're absolutely one of the top 3 league teams. No matter how many games you're playing in a league, you're going to be able to build. They're not terrible to start with. And they build up excellently there. They maybe a tier below the absolute top tier at every level, but they're very, very competitive at every TV level. And then when you look at like the endless matchmaking of Blood Bowl 2, Call, whatever, competitive Call, Fumble, Black Box, you can min-max them very effectively in that. And obviously, your Claw, Mighty Blow, Werewolves come in at their own there. So that's my take on at a rough guide of their strengths and weaknesses. So let's carry on and make a team. So this is the one werewolf build. We'll be making this team. Let's have a look at the different colours here. Oh, well, first of all, the different icons. Okay. Oh, that looks pretty cool. That's kind of alright. Not really a fan of the new logos and the different colours. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Whoa, pink. That's pretty cool. And yeah, it's pretty nice as well. Whoa, looks horrible, the other one. Pretty nice. Oh, Mordheim's the classic Mordheim. Dungeon Ball looks good for them as well, doesn't it? Right, so if we go to Dungeon Ball here, just for this one, and obviously the stadium name doesn't matter. Okay, well I don't want to see, because I don't have to fire everybody. I don't want to see what the game gives you. So let's have a look at each player in turn and discuss their strengths and weaknesses first of all. So werewolves, and look at the models as well. We've got 3 heads. Yeah, okay, I think 3 and 2 are the best. I'm not a fan of this stupid looking one. Right, they've got Claw, unbelievable. Armor 7, everybody they hit. Outstanding blitzers. Frenzy, they make sure they knock people down. Amazing. And with movement 8, they can serve people. And regeneration, obviously, most of the undead team have that. They have got general agility, so they get blodge pretty quickly, and sidestep, which is obviously great for surfing again. You can also build one as a carrier if you want, maybe if you get plus agility. So 8-3-3-8, they're really fast, not weak. If they double, they take Mighty Blow. if they double again, they get piling on, and they're unbelievable. And then you could jump up from your agility skills, and obviously tackle as well. I mean, you can build them as a pure killer, or as like an annoying player, as a ball carrier. Any stat, they become unbelievable. I mean, they're one of the best players in the game, you know, no doubt. They're amazing. They are a little bit of a liability at low team value, which is the point of this build here, which is the one werewolf build, because you can't have everything when you build a necromantic team. And then let's have a look at the flesh golems. All right, pretty cool. This guy, yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, I don't like him. Alright, so I like the first two ones. So 4429, like a Black Orc. They're 110k. Oh yeah, sorry, werewolves are 120k, which is quite expensive, but they're worth it. 4429, 110k. Now, this is bad, isn't it? Because it's 30k more than a Black Orc for the same stat line. However, they've got regen, stand firm, and thick skull. But really, they're not worth it on a starting team, but they're worth it on a developed team. So this feeds into how werewolves, necromantic, are not as good as undead at low team value, but overtake them at high team value when they get full value from these extra skills that they have. Stand firm makes them really annoying roadblocks, and you can also use them as pivots for serfs with your werewolves because they can't get counter surfed or anything. They get general and strength, so obviously block them up straight away. Then you can go mighty blow or guard. I tend to go guard on these as soon as possible, and then any doubles can be spent on dodge, so you get blodge guard. Maybe you could go break tackle, but I don't like break tackle on many players. So we'll get another one of them. Wights are just the same as undead, 6338, 90k, block regen. So they are kind of worse than a human blitzer, because they lose a point of movement for regen, but they're pretty good, aren't they? They're pivots of the team. They've got block. They're your reliable hits. I don't think you can start a team without two wights. Okay, so I actually shouldn't have done that yet. When you compare them to undead, however, undead mummies can't blitz because they're movement 3. These guys, so you have to build these as your blitzers, I think, on undead, but with necromantic, your werewolves have frenzy and claw, so they're your blitzers. So you don't have to build two of them as killers. You could build one as a killer with tackle, so that you can control your blitz and have a tackle pom, tackle mighty blow piling on. And then if you want to control blitz, you can blitz with him rather than your crazy frenzy guy. If you've got no good frenzy, if you don't get frenzy trapped, it's a big danger. So you could build one like that, but I think building them both just guard, and then they can go dodge and a double. So then, this is the thing with undead, because you've got your two werewolves that are going to be blodge, you've got your two ghouls that are going to be blodge. If you roll a double for your flesh golem, they're blodge stand firm then. These guys, you can really spam the dodge quite well on necromantic. And then this build has one ghoul as well. So these are just like undead ghouls. There is a fourth head now for them, which is pretty cool. 7337, 70k. Dodge, general agility, you're blocking them first, giving them block, give them sidestep and diving tackle. You could give one a sure hands so that you can, if you don't want a werewolf carrier, you can give one block sure hands and carry with him, and then your two werewolves are going around affecting the play more. That's quite an option I quite like, just block sure hands and they're finished. And they are quite expendable, but obviously you want to protect them so they have a good impact on the game. So I like to start with one of these and then round it out with zombies. And this leaves you with money for 3 rerolls. So there you go. That's a look at the models and one particular team build. So in this build, you're looking at you've got 3 rerolls and only 1 werewolf. So this limits the amount of bad luck you can have. If you start with 2 werewolves, first of all, you've got to give up something, and also you're a bit dicey with only having 2 rerolls probably. And this way, because you've got frenzy without block, you want a lot of rerolls with him. And if you have 2 werewolves, it's a bit hard to control, and it gives you the flesh golems for the long-term build, and it gives you a couple of wights, and it gives you the ghoul. I think whichever build you go, you've got to go with a white. Oh, I didn't talk about zombies, did I? Let's talk about the zombies. 40k, 4328 regen. Best fodder in the game. You give one dirty player, the rest can have block or kick if you like that sort of thing, or wrestle if you like that sort of thing, or even 2 or 3 dirty players. And you know, you only want to go up to about 12, 13, 14 players maybe. So this makes Necromantic quite a good counter to kill chaos teams, because they have these zombies. You don't want to pile on a zombie because you know you'll get fouled by a dirty player. And you really want to hit your their werewolves, but their werewolves can hit you and attrition you back as well. So yeah, werewolves go blodge step, but they crave mighty blow and piling on. Flesh golems go block guard, and you know, mighty blow, tackle, dodge, all that sort of stuff. I build the wights the same way as the flesh golem, though you can absolutely make one wight a tackle piling on mighty blow guy for controlled blitzers and like soft targets. You know, if you're playing wood elves, for example, your werewolves against blodge stepping elves, they can get themselves into trouble with a frenzy, whereas the tackle wight can destroy people. And then the ghouls just blodge step. Or you can make a Rackleite, I guess, if you like wrestle and tackle. You could give it on a ghoul as a throwaway player. But seeing as you have a werewolf that's movement 8, and or 2 werewolves with movement 8, and you know, frenzy, you don't really need the tackles so much. And 3 reels makes it very reliable. So let's have a cheeky look at another couple of builds here. This is if you go really long-term build. You would want to start with this team. You start with your 2 werewolves. You start with 2 flesh golems. You start with 2 wights and 5 zombies. However, you only have 2 rerolls and you don't get any ghouls. But you're basically forced to carry with a werewolf and get them skilled up as fast as possible. Your ghouls are throwaway players anyway, so that they're not throwaway, but you don't really care about them because you don't need to develop them, and you can't rely on them being developed because of the lack of regeneration, because you can't get an apothecary on this team because of they're a regen team. So this is like really, if you're going long haul for like maybe as a league, you would do this, but it's not going to be as good as winning, I don't think, as the one werewolf build. Oh yeah, also I should have said this, in the one werewolf build, you've got three rerolls, but of course you could drop a reroll for a second ghoul if that's your thing. Yeah, I wouldn't, but it's something you could do. I think 3 rerolls is too good for that. And this was the team that the team build that I got to be the top ranked coach on Fumble for Necromantic, and this is heavily min-maxed for a long-term matchmaking division. 2 rerolls. I started with 12 players because that's all I ever wanted. 2 ghouls, 2 wights, 2 werewolves, and I did not have flesh golems. And this is only 940 TV, so I just really controlled my TV with this team. And you know, it gives you the power. It gives you all the agility 3, which is good. Your 6 agility 3 players, and the flesh golems are basically your worst player at low TV because they're the least TV efficient player is your flesh golem. So by dropping those, you can make a really lean team. And I mean, I eventually got a leader and dropped the reroll, so I was only down to 1 reroll with a leader. And I mean, this is a really good for TV-based matchmaking. Not so good in Cyanide, due to the inducement phase not working without a declare petty cash phase, and due to this kind of TV plus matchmaking that they have going on. I think I would definitely start with either the long-term build of, full regen positionals and 2 rerolls. I think that's a fine build. Or you can go with the more balanced. In a way, this is more balanced, because you're essentially exchanging a werewolf for a ghoul for an extra reroll. And I just think that's better because you're much more reliable. You're not going to have these horrible frenzy trap things or turnovers, not as many turnovers from the werewolves. They're not going to get into trouble as much. And, you can build everything. And, of course, all you have to do is buy a second werewolf. And you don't even need to buy a second ghoul, but you can eventually. So, there you go. I think that basically sums up. I think that's everything I wanted to say about these. So that's pretty good. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stream a game. And then I'll talk and kind of showcase Necromantics in an actual match environment, and then I'll upload that to YouTube as well. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and thank you very much. See you later.